Speaking of people enjoying rides,
Hmm.
uh, Transition Game is at a 7 out of 10 this week, I think.
Yeah.
Um, although it was at the top of the DEG chart for the fifth, let's talk about the box office that was. And I need to click the actual right button.
Yeah.
All right,
There
so
you
Surprising Nobody, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Actually, okay, 45% drop is respectable.
go. Yeah, that's not bad.
Wasn't a good starting number, but,
Yeah.
it's a cheap movie that they I was going to originally have a source for this, but um, apparently they have already sold $1 billion worth of Ninja Turtle merchandise for the year.
Yes. So that's why they're not too upset about this movie bombing.
No, I,
Um,
compared to its budget, I wouldn't even necessarily say. Well, actually, is it still doing nothing internationally? It's still doing
uh,
mostly nothing internationally
Mostly
compared to
nothing.
the
Yeah.
states. So yeah, it's probably not going to break even, but it's not like Lightyear bomb.
Right. Yeah. It kind of since they're doing like a TV show and then they got all this merchandise. It kind of reminds me of when the Clone Wars movie came out.
Hmm.
Because for those of you who might not remember this, before the year before the show premiered on TV, they put the movie out in theaters and it bombed.
Yeah, I mean, I personally enjoyed Truman Capote the Hut, but
Yeah.
Ahsoka did not come off well.
No, yeah, and yeah, that was everybody's introduction to Ahsoka. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and of course, I think a lot of people saw, oh, Clone Wars movie? Is it that Jendy Tartakovsky 2D one from Cartoon Network? No?
Yeah. uh, but it didn't seem to bother them because they still did the TV show, they still did all the merch and everything, and did very well.
Yep. So it could be a similar situation.
Yeah,
Of course, at the top here, we still have Barbenheimer,
yeah,
where Barbie refuses to stop making all the money.
yes,
And Oppenheimer, also, both of these actually have very similar trend lines where they're both towards the top of their expected range.
yeah. And hey, Ninja, good to see you.
Hey, hey. But yeah, so yeah, it they're you're doing God's work keeping movie theaters in business
Yes,
because we're still talking 8,000. Barbie is still raking in 8,000 a theater. Sheesh.
man.
Um, for the weekend,
Yeah,
Meg 2: The Trench had a pretty predictable big drop for a poorly reviewed monster movie.
yes.
Um,
With
uh,
Jason Statham being Jason Statham.
yes, it's continuing to do big internationally.
Mm.
Although again, since that biggest market for it is China, they're not making as much money as you would think.
Yeah, they only get 20%, 25% of that.
Yep. So, but it was, yeah, okay, that's right. That was a pretty expensive movie. Yeah, this one's probably a bomb.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't 250 million like certain bombs we've been seeing all year. So
Yes, or 330 million.
and since that's another Warner Brothers movie, yeah, some of that Barbie money.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
China has no taste.
uh, I'll defend it. What I've heard is that a lot of these American movies that go over there um, barely have subtitles. Um,
Uh,
or at least like, oh, like it's depending on the country, they'll have like minimal subtitles. So things like Transformers movies classically or the Meg, it makes sense.
yeah.
Uh, There's
Yeah, and
actually a
I
weird phenomena in like certain African countries where you'll have somebody kind of being a hype man and explaining the movie as the movie goes along, and they almost become more famous for that than the movie itself. Like there was this, I want to say Ugandan movie called "Whatever Happened to Captain Jack" or something Captain Jack,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
where they hired like the most. It was like the first Ugandan action movie, and they actually hired one of these hype men to do that role for the movie or like, for the theaters.
Yeah, yeah, that movie is legendary and not just in Uganda. It's like People,
Yeah,
people around the world love that movie.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen videos about it.
Yeah, I have too.
So it's like a similar situation where it's like what's going to translate well, what's going to translate well, what's going to be absurd monsters and action movies and
Yeah,
things that look pretty.
yeah, do it. uh,
I've heard argued for like 10 years that's part of why the mid-budget movie died out the way it did, because it's
mm,
like, well, if we're trying to sell it to Uganda and China and Middle East, do we want a movie about the plight of the middle class in Minnesota, or do we want big action monsters?
yeah, big action monsters. Yeah, gonna win
Yep.
every time.
We have another major release, the second the second Dracula movie to come out this year and bomb hideously, The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yes, and I watched Film Threats review of that, and they said it's terrible.
Yeah, which is based on an incident that was just covered briefly in. Oh, this must be spelled with a key with a K. Um,
How do you not know that?
okay,
How
so I'm
did how
obviously
did you
spelling
not
it wrong.
recognize Nicolas Cage? It's
Oh, is it only Greg Cage? Nicola. Oh, he doesn't have a C or he doesn't have an H or a
oh, he
K in
is
his
an
name.
H. Okay,
Okay, because I'm just seeing what acting credits, dream scenario, their time. Renfield.
Renfield,
Okay, let's see here.
26 million. Ooh,
Eh, Yeah, and so yeah, this actually managed to have a worse opening weekend than Renfield.
oh,
It's that power of that Nicolas Cage.
yes.
But also yeah, this movie is based on like a prequel premise where, as I recall hearing about this because I've never read Dracula, it was like a description of an event where the ship that showed up with Dracula to bring him to England question mark uh,
I believe that's right. Yeah.
uh, uh, was like completely bereft of crewmen or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about Dracula lore, so
I
but
have people who speak horror movie to tell me these things.
yeah.
Let's see here. Rolling out the top 10. Um, Haunted Mansion continues to be uninspiring.
hmm
Um, although kind of outperforming the Meg in the States, but we know that's doing, last I looked, it was doing nothing internationally. Yeah.
Yeah, not doing anything internationally.
And this was, thankfully, it wasn't a $200 million movie. It was only a $157 million movie.
Yeah.
So slightly less of a bleed.
Yes.
Um, it's here. Talk to Me, the horror movie that I have no opinion of because it's a horror
Mhm.
movie,
Yeah.
uh, had actually a very small drop. So that's like 19% is nothing.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So clearly, people are giving it good word of mouth. Of course, the poster child for good word of mouth, we have Angel Studios' Sound of Freedom,
Yes.
and can, yeah, Mission Impossible,
Mm,
Unexpected Bomb. So
yes.
yeah, it's actually okay. It has a lower box office than Indiana Jones, but also it's been out 2 less weeks. But man, everyone was like, "Haha, we're going to show you how to do an aging action star right." Screw you,
Uh,
Indiana Jones.
yeah, yeah.
Um, although I'm pretty sure that oh yeah, it's smoking Indiana Jones's total box office. Indiana Jones is not seeing 400,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Ninja says it's actually a chapter in the original novel taking place between Jonathan Harker's stay at Dracula's castle and Lucy's illness. Yeah, it's an explanation of how Dracula got to England.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for fact checking me.
Yes, thank you.
And then in 10 and 11, this looks like some sort of Bollywood or Tollywood thing. Let's. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Um, Yeah, some sort of international release.
Yeah.
I don't want to make assumptions.
Yes.
Um, and Godard, that's got to be.
Godard 2. I have no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, box office report is basically the same as it has been since Barbie released.
Yeah.
Things come in and sort of challenge the Barbenheimer duopoly, but Oppenheimer managed to climb back into second.
Yeah. Let's. I wonder if Blue Beetle will do it.
Oh yeah, Blue Beetle is going to make all the money.
Oh yes.